Hello and welcome to Late Night Stories. The wind hummed softly through the trees, rustling the golden leaves that clung to the last days of autumn. Emma sat cross-legged on her yoga mat, positioned at the very edge of a sprawling lake in the mountains. This was her escape, her refuge from the endless stream of thoughts that filled her days. But tonight, she wasn't just here to admire the scenery. She was here to let go. For weeks, stress had gripped her tightly. Work demands, family expectations, and the relentless pull of social media had left her exhausted. Sleep had become elusive, and even in moments of solitude, her mind raced with unfinished tasks and unanswered messages. She needed something more than just a break. She needed stillness, and so she had turned to meditation, hoping it would offer the peace she craved. As she adjusted her posture and took a deep breath, the world around her seemed to quiet. The lake, still as glass, mirrored the soft glow of the crescent moon above. Somewhere in the distance, an owl hooted, a reminder that she was not alone, even in solitude. She pressed play on her guided meditation and let the gentle voice lead her inward. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Emma followed the instruction, her breath slow and deliberate. She felt the air expand in her lungs, then escape in a soft sigh. The voice continued, soothing and rhythmic. Allow yourself to settle into this moment. Let go of the day, let go of expectation. Just be. Her shoulders softened, her jaw unclenched. The tension she hadn't realized she was holding in her hands and feet melted away. She imagined the worries of the day dissolving into the air, drifting away like dandelion seeds in the wind. Use your mind's eye, picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast, glowing forest. This is a place of peace, a sanctuary just for you. Emma's mind conjured the image effortlessly. Before her, a lush forest stretched into the distance, its trees illuminated from within. The leaves shimmered with an ethereal light, pulsating gently as if they were breathing. The ground beneath her feet was soft, blanketed in moss that glowed a faint shade of blue. As she stepped forward in this imagined world, the sounds of the real world faded. She was there, truly there. The guided meditation continued. Walk deeper into the forest. Notice how the air is different here, lighter, filled with the energy of life itself. She inhaled deeply, and it was as if she could feel the magic within the air. It tingled in her lungs, spread through her limbs, and filled her with warmth. The deeper she walked, the more she felt herself dissolving into the peace around her. The light from the trees shimmered, creating dancing patterns on her skin. Tiny glowing creatures flitted through the branches, their wings leaving trails of luminescence. As Emma moved through the enchanted landscape, she spotted something ahead, a clearing with a pool of crystal clear water. It radiated a soft, golden glow, its surface completely still. A single stone sat at the water's edge, smooth and inviting. She walked toward it and sat, letting her hands rest on her knees. The meditation voice returned, grounding her further. This water is a mirror to your mind. Observe it. If there are ripples, let them settle. If the surface is clouded, let it clear. There is no need to force it. Just watch. Emma gazed at the water, and sure enough, it shifted and moved, mirroring the thoughts that still lingered in the corners of her mind. Deadlines, conversations, the nagging feeling that she wasn't doing enough. But as she sat there, breathing, the ripples softened. The water stilled. The noise within her began to quiet. You are safe here. You are whole. Let go. She closed her eyes and let the words settle into her. The weight that had rested so heavily on her chest lifted, like mist dispersing in the morning sun. She felt lighter, as though she could float above the ground. The forest, the pool, the glowing trees. They were all a reflection of her inner world, now bathed in tranquility. A rustling sound pulled her attention back to the forest path. She turned and saw a creature stepping forward, an animal unlike anything she had ever seen. It was part stag, part wolf, with fur that shimmered like moonlight on water. Its eyes were kind, ancient, filled with a wisdom beyond words. Emma felt no fear. Instead, she felt recognition, as though she had met this being before in another time, another place. The creature stepped closer, bowing its head slightly. Without hesitation, Emma reached out and placed her hand gently against its side. In that instant, a pulse of light surged between them, radiating outward like ripples on the still pond. It wasn't just warmth she felt, it was understanding, a deep, soul-level knowing that she was exactly where she needed to be. The voice of the meditation returned, soft and steady. This being is a reflection of your deepest self. It carries the wisdom you seek, the peace you long for. Trust it. Let it guide you. Emma took a deep breath, allowing the connection to sink in. The creature stood beside her, strong and unwavering. She knew that even when she left this meditation, when she opened her eyes and returned to the waking world, this feeling, this presence would remain within her. It was always there, waiting for her to return. The voice in her headphones began to lead her back. When you are ready, begin to bring awareness back to your breath. Feel the earth beneath you, hear the sounds around you. The glowing forest began to fade, dissolving into the gentle sounds of the real world. The cool night air brushed against her skin, the distant sound of crickets and rustling leaves welcoming her back. She inhaled deeply, filling her lungs with the crisp mountain air, then exhaled, feeling grounded, renewed. Roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and toes, and when it feels right, slowly open your eyes. Emma did as she was guided, stretching slightly before blinking her eyes open. The lake before her was still, the reflection of the moon undisturbed. Everything looked the same, yet she felt different. Lighter, clearer, whole. She sat there for a long moment, soaking in the peace she had cultivated. The creature from her meditation lingered in her mind, its presence like a whisper in her heart. She knew she would return to this place, both the physical sanctuary by the lake and the glowing forest within her mind. They were both home. A soft smile formed on her lips as she stood, rolling up her yoga mat. The night was deep, the world hushed. She was ready for rest, for the deep, undisturbed sleep she had been longing for. And as she walked back to her cabin, she carried with her the stillness she had found, knowing it would always be there, waiting. The wind carried the crisp scent of pine through the mountain valley as Sarah stepped onto the worn wooden dock. The lake stretched endlessly before her, its surface reflecting the last hues of sunset in streaks of violet and amber. She let out a slow breath, her shoulders sinking with the exhale. This was why she had come here, to escape the constant hum of city life, the relentless notifications and the pressure to always be doing something. Tonight, she would do nothing but exist, letting the quiet guide her into the stillness she desperately craved. She spread out her meditation cushion at the edge of the dock, feeling the wood cool beneath her fingertips. The sounds of nature surrounded her. The gentle lapping of water against the posts, the whisper of leaves shifting in the evening breeze, and somewhere in the distance, the low hoot of an owl settling in for the night. This was peace. Or at least it had the potential to be. She just had to let go. Settling into a comfortable position, she straightened her back, let her hands rest on her knees, and closed her eyes. The guided meditation began in her earbuds, a voice rich with warmth and calm. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. She followed the instruction, drawing air deep into her lungs and releasing it with intention. Already her heartbeat began began to slow. The voice continued. Now, picture yourself standing at the entrance of a forest. This is no ordinary forest. It is alive with light, with energy, with everything you need to find peace. Step forward and let the journey begin. In her mind's eye, Sarah saw it clearly. The forest pulsed with a soft glow, the trees not just standing but breathing, their leaves shifting in shades of gold and silver as if infused with their own light. The path before her was lined with bioluminescent plants that swayed gently, their movements synced to the rhythm of her breath. As she walked forward, she felt lighter, as though the weight of the day had started to dissolve into the air around her. The meditation voice guided her deeper. Feel the earth beneath your feet, the cool, solid ground supporting you, rooting you to the present moment. You are safe here. You are exactly where you need to be. She imagined her steps pressing into the moss-covered ground, each footfall connecting her more deeply to this world of stillness. The tension in her body unwound as she moved forward, her muscles loosening with each inhale and exhale. She let go of the deadlines, the emails, the expectations she had placed upon herself. Here, none of that existed. A small, glowing stream appeared ahead, winding through the trees like liquid stardust. The water shimmered with deep blues and iridescent purples, reflecting the soft glow of the forest canopy above. She knelt beside it, watching the gentle current, feeling an inexplicable sense of knowing settle over her. This water mirrors your mind, the voice continued. If there are ripples, let them settle. If the surface is cloudy, allow it to clear. You do not force it. You simply observe. Sarah gazed into the water, and just as the guide had said, the reflection shifted and swirled. At first, the surface was busy with movement, thoughts of work, worries about the future, lingering frustrations. But she didn't reach for them. She simply watched, and as she did, the water grew still. Her mind grew still. She closed her eyes for a moment, absorbing the quiet, the way her breath had deepened, the way her body felt as if it were being held by something larger than herself. When she opened them again, she was no longer alone. A creature stood on the other side of the stream. At first, she thought it was a stag, its silhouette noble and strong. But as it stepped closer, she noticed something different. The elongated limbs, the delicate shimmer that traced the length of its fur, the almost wolf-like intelligence in its golden eyes. It was a being of the forest, something not entirely of this world, yet undeniably familiar. She felt no fear, only recognition. This being represents your deepest self, the voice murmured through her headphones. It carries the wisdom you seek, the peace you long for. Trust it. Let it guide you. The creature bowed its head slightly, an unspoken invitation. Sarah inhaled and stepped forward. As she crossed the stream, she felt a warmth radiate from the ground, a pulsing energy that filled her with calm. She reached out, and as her hand met the creature's luminous fur, a current of light passed between them, washing through her like a tide. It was as if every doubt, every fear, every weight she had carried had been seen and acknowledged, and then gently released into the ether. She wasn't sure how long she stood there, simply breathing in the presence of this guardian, this part of herself that had always been waiting. When she finally turned back, the forest glowed even brighter. The path behind her had changed. Not a way back, but a way forward, illuminated by the same light she now carried within her. The voice in her headphones softened, guiding her back to the present. It is time to return. Take a deep breath. Feel the earth beneath you, the air around you, and when you are ready, open your eyes. Sarah inhaled deeply, feeling the air cool against her skin. The wooden dock was solid beneath her, the sounds of the real world filtering back in, the gentle ripple of the lake, the rustle of the trees. She blinked her eyes open, letting the transition settle over her. Everything looked the same, yet everything felt different. Lighter, clearer. She stood, stretching slowly before gathering her cushion. The stars overhead shimmered, reflected perfectly in the still waters below. She no longer needed to reach for stillness, she carried it with her now. As she walked back toward the cabin, she felt the presence of the glowing forest within her, a quiet promise that she could return anytime she chose. All she had to do was breathe.